Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, presented by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Roger Powell Jr., as we look ahead to this week's games and also look back at this past week. And coach, in both games, kind of similar in the sense that you erased big deficits. There had to be some real positives of the resiliency of the team to come back. But then on the flip side of that, not quite able to close them out in the end. What do you see in terms of rallying? What do you see in terms of what the program needs to do to close out those games?
So I love the rallying. Obviously, that's a non-negotiable for us in our program. We play hard, we compete, and we've rallied and we've had the lead. So just looking at the game film, it's just a little mistakes late. Some of it's experience. I'm playing a lot of young guys still, playing multiple freshmen, multiple sophomores. We still have some of those inexperienced mistakes that you would see with some of these young guys playing, like especially at crunch time. But with that being said, we got to get better at it. We've had the lead in both these games late, and whether it's technicals or gambling on defense or quick shots or turnovers. It hasn't allowed us to sustain that lead and pull it out. So we gotta get back to doing that, get back to being locked in, and we're gonna get some of these games soon. But hey, this league is tough, and it's a lot of veteran players, a lot of veteran teams, great coaches, and we just got to keep fighting and get one of these L's to turn.
Right, as a freshman, went through maybe a couple of those games that I'm sure he'd tell you were not his best games, and he was able to get through that and bounce back with 18 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers on Sunday. What was it like to see him as a young player bounce back from a short stretch like that and to respond in a positive way on Saturday against UIC?
It's a credit. I think it's a credit to our recruiting too, man. To have a kid like Cooper come in as a freshman of the year last year, and I think all is competing for that this year. I don't know if that's been done since I don't know when the last time that was done in the Missouri Valley. Hopefully all continues to progress. He's a special talent, but I'm on the road recruiting right now because one of the things I felt like hurt us last game was just the size and they had some bigs. They had some really good bigs that came off their bench. So we got to get better. We got to give the guys more opportunity. Some of the guys we have on our bench, but then also I got to recruit and we got to get some physical guys that can help because I look at last game and I think a big part of that was we got out rebounded. They had 20 second chance points and some of it was just they had more size than us. So we're going to correct that and we're gonna push other guys and hopefully we got a bunch of games left. You will see a change in some of that with some of the personnel decisions we make and giving guys opportunities.
The ebbs and flows of the college basketball season. You've seen it over the last 6 games, the high of the 3-game winning streak, and now you've dropped the last three. When you're in a stretch like this, how do you balance keeping in context all the positives that have happened with your program over the course of the season and trying to stay positive with the guys while at the same time having some accountability and trying to improve on what's happened the last couple games?
And it's a process, man. I said, my whole plan was, to be competitive this year and next year in conference, and then hopefully by year 3, 4, be a championship caliber team. And obviously this type of a turnaround, I think it's just the way we've been competing, and the fact that we could have won, all those games we just lost in the Missouri Valley with the team we have. I feel like we're a little ahead of schedule. So no reason to hang our heads. We just got to figure out how to do it, how to pull them out, and that's something that in the Missouri Valley. A lot of these games are close, and it's going to take time. It's going to be something that every game, as long as we give ourselves a chance, we're going to win some of these, which we won some early, we lost some early. So we just got to stick with our process, and try to get better game by game, and then see where we are at the end of the season, and to be honest, get ourselves to a point where we can compete in the conference tournament championship. Because I would love to say we get at large bid, but right now our program's not at that point. So we just have to keep getting better, keep being hungry, and game by game, and just keep competing so that we can put ourselves in a good chance to, hopefully win the conference tournament and be in the race for the regular season title.
You mentioned close games, and one of those close games was the first matchup against Drake. Now, for the first time this year, you face the team for the second time. How's it different from a coaching perspective when you're going into the second matchup against a team, and what do you have to do to be successful on Wednesday?
Well, I remember that game was a game where we kind of changed our lineup a little bit, and after that game, and some guys stepped in and really competed late and gave us a chance to win that game. Too. So, I think we're playing a little different. They're different. They're better. But you know what? We should have an edge. I mean, they beat us, and they got us at home. So our guys should be fired up. I know I'm fired up, and our staff is, and I know the caliber of athlete and player that we have on this team, they're fired up too. So we're going to go in. We've already looked at the film. We've been watching a ton of film from them in our last game, and we're going to correct some of the things that we didn't do well, and try to go in there and get a really good win on the road. And that's the one that we're trying to get. I mean, like Belmont and Murray and Bradley. Man, all those games on the road were tough games, and we had a chance to win. We have to get one of these really good teams on the road, and then this is a good opportunity for us.
And finally, I want to shift gears from basketball, and unfortunately, I have to share the sad news that of the passing of Connie Brescher at the age of 104, a dedicated and loyal Valpo basketball fan, was attending games at the age of 103, and you had a special visit with her before and after your Indiana State game. What can you tell me about that visit and what someone like Connie meant to your program?
I mean, she meant a ton to our program. She meant a ton to me. Um, Try not to get emotional. Last year when I went to see her the first and give her the Grit Award, man, she was just so sweet. She shared a lot with me. She's such an encourager, and she's so happy that I was back, and she was happy about where the program was going. And I remember seeing her last year, uh, cheering and dancing and giving us energy at 103. Man, it just meant so much to me. And one of my goals was, hold on one second. One of my goals was to try to get her to the tournament. And I kind of had in my heart, just seeing her being able to wheel in whatever she was, if she was in a wheelchair at that time, see be able to see us playing against the tournament, and that hurts that she's not going to see that, but I think her spirit and just her passion for this program is something that meant a lot to me, and I was hoping that we could have did that with her being there, and I just pray that, man, just people would just look at her love for us and the Valpo men's basketball program and shoot her support for me, which meant a lot just with the conversations I had with her. Hope people would see that, man, they're rally behind us, and know that this program is going to be special, and it's going to be special for people like that are with the program through thick and thin, through the ups and downs, and that really care about our success. So she meant a lot to me, big time encouragement to me. One of the people in Valpo, just the whole program, the city, that just really I felt genuinely loved us and genuinely cared about me being successful. So that one hurts, but we're going to keep competing, and I'm going to do what I came here to do, and that's make Valpo a championship program again.
Well put, Roger. Thanks for sharing that with us. There he is, the
Thanks.
head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Roger Powell Jr. This has been Valpo Basketball Weekly. It's presented by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. We'll talk to you again next week.